My name is Bo, and I worked here as the treatment counselor in Mi'kmaq Lodge Treatment Center, and I'm also a supervisor. And I've been working with the Mi'kmaq Lodge for 11 years, or 10 years actually. I am a recovering alcoholic, and I'm also a recovering drug addict. And I'll tell you a little bit about me, what it was like and what happened and what it's like today. Well, as the grow up in an alcoholic dysfunction family, alcoholic home with both parents are alcoholic, had an alcohol problems. They're both using. And I grew up with a big family, 7 of us guys and 9 sisters. Most of us had a problem with addiction. I got married. I started off actually at first at the age of 12. I tried it, but it wasn't really a problem until I hit teens. About 14 or 15, then I started having a real problem with it. I got into a fight, and I even got put in jail a couple of times with it, even at a young age. Then I got married at the age of 21. I had a wife and 2 kids, a boy and a girl. But my marriage didn't stay out too long. She walked out on me because I drank too much. And she took 2 of our children with her. And that doesn't really stop me at first. But it made me straighten up for 6 months. I didn't drink for 6 months. And after 6 months, and I started using again. And I didn't stop then. I actually couldn't see the light. I lost hope. I couldn't see anywhere in sight. I gave up on hope. I gave up on myself. I tried suicide. By the grace of God, that didn't work. I'm here today. Well, anyways, I drank so much, and I started even selling my furniture. I had a very beautiful mobile home. It was given to me by band. And when my wife left with kids, she let me with it. Now I drink more and more. And when I ran out of booze, I started selling my furniture. I sold my brand new couches for liquor. I sold all the bedroom sets for kids' bedroom sets for a bottle. Everything was inside the house. I sold it. Eventually, I sold the house for $75, my trailer, just for the bottle. Then I had nowhere else to live. I was homeless for a while until my sister lent me her house. It was just a shell. There was nothing inside. It was just a shell. There was no Jeep-Rock, no heat, one room only. And about 8 by 12 room was only Jeep-Rock on it. So I stayed in that room with a blanket. I used a blanket as my door, and I got a mattress on the floor, and only had a few bologna sandwiches. A couple of days old. But anyways, one night I was laying on this dark, cold room, and I was thinking about how my life was. I had a wife. I had 2 beautiful children. I ate 3 meals a day. I slept in a warm bed. Then I looked around me, and there was nothing there. It was just a little small, cold room. I was laying on a mattress. So I feel sorry for myself. I said, I'm going to end it. I'm going to end this misery, this suffering. So the only option I see was to take my life. And that I did. I slit my wrist, and I went to hide myself, that nobody will find me. But by the grace of God again, they did find me. When I woke up that night, that morning, early in the morning, I seen people around me, paramedics, fire department was there too also, and police. And they took me to emergency. They stitched me up and got back home that morning. I went crawled back into my bed. And I heard a knock on the door that morning, and it was my girlfriend at that time, that she'd become my wife. And she asked me how I was doing, and I I wasn't really doing so well. My hands were swelled up and my wrists were all bandaged up. I have to do something about me. So I told her to call one of the addiction workers that I can talk to. Well, one of the addiction counselors came to see me that afternoon. And me and him were spoke for a while. Then he asked me if I wanted to go to AA meetings with him. So I said, all right, yeah, sure, I'll try AA meetings. I'll try anything at this moment. So me and him went to a meeting that evening. I was sitting way at the back of the crowd. I didn't really want to face anybody. And my mind wasn't there at the meeting, it was everywhere. So after the meeting, anyways, we drove home and he asked me what do I get out of that meeting. And I really told him I got nothing out of it because I didn't. I was thinking about too many things. So anyway, he says, no, we'll do it again tomorrow. And I said, we'll go to another meeting tomorrow. And so we went. And he keeps doing that to me. Every other night we went to other meetings. For 9 months actually. And that 9 months I wasn't drinking. I was sober for that 9 months. Until one day that summer in August, I had sleep. I got drunk for that one day. And I woke up looking around me, didn't recognize the house I woke up to. When I went outside, didn't recognize either street. So I started walking anyway, and I started to remember where I was. It was in a different community. Remember to. And at that time I was living with my girlfriend and my daughter. As I got home, she asked me where I'd been, and I told her for the first time. I didn't lie to her. I told her where I'd been, what happened, and what I did. I told her I got drunk and ended up in a different community, but it would never happen again. I started to slowly buy my furniture. I started getting jobs from the band to work at the houses, and eventually I started to work in voluntarily. I volunteered to here in Rigmala, in Nadiga, be with people that really stay waiting for their best detox. I'll be sitting there and be comfortable with them and play cards and talk with them and just somebody be there with them. Because I know how it feels and I know how it is when you're alone, sick. So that's what I did. A few months later, the job went out and I applied it and I got it. I was sober for about 2 years at that time. Then I started working with the Nadiga alcohol addictions. I was one of the addiction counselors. Then they moved me up to Mi'kma'ulah's treatment center to do the sessions, and I went up. And doing sessions for a few years, and I moved away for another treatment center, Eelground in Brunswick. That was up in the Rising Sun. And I worked with them for 5 years. I did so well, but I came back home after 5 years. I didn't really pay attention to myself at that moment. I put my guards down. And so important it is as a recovering alcoholic or a recovering drug addict to always keep your guards up. But that time, that day, I didn't keep my guards up. I put them down and all of a sudden, it sneaks up on me so fast. I went using again. After 14 and a half years of my sobriety, I just opened the window and just threw it out. And it goes with my job and it goes with everything I had so long. My self-respect, respect for my family, my community, and materialistic things, like car, license. I lost that. And eventually I ended up in a mental institution. I was ended up in a mental institution for about a week. That didn't scare me, or I didn't even stop using. I kept using anyways after I got out from mental institution. And then I ended up in a hospital. I got pancreatitis. And that didn't really scare me until they took my freedom away. I got put in jail. I got sent me to a correctional center for a remand. And I didn't get charged for that, but they kept me there for the whole week on remand, waiting for my court date. After a while, I was in house arrest for 11 months. That's the only reason I stopped. One day I got really sick after I drank the night before, after I got out of a correctional center. And I was sitting outside. There was a party going on the next door, and the party was going on the other couple of doors away. And I got a bad hangover at that time. And it was in the summer, August night. And I was there looking outside and sitting on my porch, and I was thinking there's a better life there, I know. Because I've been there. I was there for 14 and a half years before I had relapse. I was just continuing my sobriety how I did it before. Just one day at a time. Then my life was starting to get better again. My life is starting to get better again. I got a job again at working with the house in the Scazzoni band. I got doing a few odd jobs here and there. I went through a lot in life at my sobriety, but I didn't use that as an excuse to go back using again. Because I know how it feels and I know how it is. And I was really scared of it. But anyways, I was sober for 10 years. I didn't sober up for anything. I didn't sober up for a job. I didn't sober up for even my child or my children. I didn't sober up for my girlfriend or I didn't sober up for anybody. I sober up for me, because I was the one who went through this pain and misery. They're not the ones who went through it. I did. I did it so long. I lost family members, but I never go back using again. So in 10 years went by, I was still doing what I was doing, what works for me. And it's continuing going to my AA meetings. And as I was going to my AA meetings, I was feeling really pretty good about myself. My self-esteem went up so high, and my self-esteem went up so high, and my self-respect came back so strongly, and the respect for my loved ones, my family, my wife, my girlfriend. Actually, I called her my wife today because she was with me and stick with me for all through these years, hard times and good times. And I'm still with her today. And I'm proud of what I had. So in 10 years went by anyways, then one of the workers from Mi'kmaq Lodge came to see me that afternoon, and he asked me if I wanted to work with him. And I accept his request that I'll be working with him. And working for him I started working in Mi'kmaq Lodge in 2011. And I love what I'm doing, because I know how hard it is when you lose hope. And when you lose hope, you don't see no light of anything, not even pinhole of a light. But I know it's there. And I was just, when I was inside this tunnel, was just pitch of darkness. And there's a pinhole somewhere of light, that which I didn't see. But I didn't give up on myself. I was just continuing walking forward. I go through ups and downs, and I go through all kinds of obstacles, but I never gave up on myself. And eventually this light, this pinhole, is starting getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Eventually I got out of it. I came out of this dark tunnel. I enjoyed it after what I seen. The saying says, there's a grass green around the other side. And it is true. Maybe the day like this, when the clouds over, I know the sun's still shining down on us. It's still shining out there. But this is when this clouds over, it's just an obstacle. Everything will pass through. And as long as if you hold on to yourself, you'll get what you always wanted. If you want happiness, it's there for you to get. But you have to, if you want anything you want, it's there for you to get. As long as if you don't give up. Which is hard at times. My life is not perfect. I got financial debts, and I got marital problems. I got family situations. I got everyday life. But there's times there's more good days than bad. When I woke up in the morning, I'm very grateful what I seen just getting up in the morning, just open my eyes and see what I'm looking at is the ceiling or the wall that I'm really grateful to. At least it gives me another day of living. And I took this day as it was my last. I'm not taking life for granted anymore because I know it's there for a purpose and I'm using it as much as I can. And if I can help one person, I'll be there for them. If I can help that one person for that one day, that's a success for me. And that's what I'm grateful for. And I know at times we think, and you'll probably think too, that only you, that happens to you. But all the recovering addicts and the recovering alcoholics are went through the same roads as what you're going through now. As long as if you stay with that red road, as long as if you reaching out for help, somebody out there will be there for you. Could be your friend, it could be your family members, anybody that you can talk to will be there for you. I use anybody. I use my friends, I use my families, I use even strangers I use at times. So I need to talk to somebody, I'll talk to someone just to help myself. Because today I'm more important and I don't want to lose it. Because the way I feel, if I respect myself, I can respect others better. If I'm strong enough, then I can be there for you.
Do you have any tips for anyone who might have a loved one who is suffering from addiction with drugs and alcohol?
Yes. I would say as long as you don't give up on them. If you don't give up on them, if you stand by their side, and if you do respect how hard it is, and if you understand them, how hard it is for them, and not giving up on them, support them as much as you can, they won't lose hope. Drug Awareness Week is a place that you can, if there's videos probably will be shown on Drug Awareness Week. There'll be a lot of answers you're seeking. You'll get the answer, the one you're looking for, and from those videos you will be watching. It really helps. There's more.
Thinking about individuals who might be watching this video, who are thinking about getting help, what do you think they should do?
Whoever's seeking for help, there's help. It's there. You can go to NADIGA, you can call to NADIGA, Native Alcohol and Drug. You can call to a crisis center. You can call to mental health. It's not a shame to grab a phone and talk to somebody. Maybe that'll be the best thing and best decision that you can make is grab that phone, even though that you don't want to grab and dial that number. Sometimes, though, it's hard. At times, a lot of times in my recovery, I hate to do what I'm doing. It's just pressing those buttons and to call the friend or somebody to talk to, because I know this friend will talk me out of it. And that's exactly what works and best ways to do it. Yes, there's a lot of places that you can call. There's a lot of resources that you can go to. There's addiction services in town. There's crisis hotlines, yellow pages. And there's a lot of resources that you can go to if you need someone to talk to. There's a friend, and there are even family members that you can talk to if you need someone to talk to for help.
Do you wish to share anything else?
No, I think this will be enough for now.
Perfect.
I could sit here the whole 2 days talking about myself, but...
All right, thank you so much, Paul.
Okay, you're welcome.